At 5 minutes past 8 a.m. now, we have learned about Patriotic Alliance leaders Gayton McKenzie and Kenny Kunene, who went to Israel and for a number of reasons. One of them being to learn how to run coalitions. Now, we know the coalition debate is huge in South Africa at this point in time. There has been a massive focus on coalition governments in the build up to the 2024 elections. We've seen coalitions at local government level. To a large extent, we know that there are many local municipalities that are running coalitions at this point in time, well over 60. But looking at the bigger metro areas, the larger cities, they have been problematic to a large extent. And Johannesburg is just one example where we've seen mayor after mayor coming in and out of office. So all of this at this point in time is focused towards coalitions and possibly even at national government level. The key issue here is what do we know? What do we learn about coalitions and as to why? And the question is, why has the Patriotic Alliance turned to Israel to learn about coalition governments? There has been a fair amount of criticism against the party. And again, some of the key issues here is in terms of legitimizing Israel's apartheid, its terrible oppression of the Palestinian people. So there have been disappointments that have been expressed, and we're going across right now to be joined by the Deputy President of the PA, Kenny Kunene. Kenny, good morning to you, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Imal, and good morning to your viewers.
Kenny, upfront, my question, why turn to Israel to learn about coalition governments?
As you would know that we are the kingmakers in the city of Johannesburg, and we are in a number of coalitions. We have appreciated that as we are going into national government, and we will do well, we will be part of national government and some provincial governments. We then looked at the countries that have gone through coalition governments. And our researchers informed us that Israel has been in coalition government since 1948. And we then decided that let us then make the trip to Israel to go and understand how do they stabilize, how do they make sure that their coalition governments last for the duration of the term, but also to understand their desalination process of taking seawater and turning it into potable water. Israel has been at the center of a lot of technologies in the world, and we also wanted to see how are they doing it. So it was a fact-finding mission. Israel is the first country that we have gone to.
Could it be the case where your researchers have got it wrong? Because, you know, we know Israel has been in coalition governments, but a government that is unstable. They've had 5 elections in less than 4 years, which tells us that something is not right, something is not working, even within those coalition governments.
Yeah, we're talking about one term. But when you look at most of the terms of the coalitions, they have been stable. They have lasted for the duration of the term. And even so, we must then learn what makes the coalitions not work. The fact of the matter is they...
Yes, sir.
They are never majority government.
Yes, in fact, obviously, you're saying that full terms, but I mean, again, the point I'd like to make is in the last 4 years, 5 elections, which tells us, Kenny, that something is definitely not working. None of them have actually gone through the entire term of governing.
Yes, that is in the last 4 years, but let us look from 1948. Let us not focus on 1 year. When you go and learn, you don't just learn about the successes. You also learn about the failures and how to make sure that those failures don't happen. We don't want a situation where what has happened in the municipalities, where the mayors have been changed every now and then, to happen at national government. The dynamics of local government, provincial government, and national government are not the same. And understanding that South Africa will, for the first time, experience a national government coalition we had to say, where do we start? Who do we learn from? We are not a know-all party. We are also looking at going to Finland, Denmark, to go and have these discussions.
Yes, but again, the obviously there has been criticism that has been leveled against you and the party for going to Israel by saying that while legitimize Israel's apartheid and its terrible oppression of the Palestinian people, and there has been disappointment that has been expressed that by going to a country like Israel, a country that is in coalition, yes, it is in coalition, but it is the coalition of the right, of the ultra right, and this obviously is political legitimization of a right-wing government that is radical in more aspects than one, Kenny.
You see, the attitude of Patriotic Alliance towards any country depends on the attitude of that country towards Patriotic Alliance. We don't have enemies in the world. We have friends. However, whether we declare them as friends or enemies will depend on their attitude towards us. Israel, when we approached the South African Jewish Board of Deputies and said, can you facilitate these meetings? We would like to see the president of Israel, would like to see at least 1 or 2 or 3 political parties. We would like to go to the Innovation Center, we would like to go to your Waste Management Treatment Center. They understood that these are leaders of a party who are patriotic about their country, and they opened their country to us. We are not legitimizing anyone. The fact of the matter is there is a government in Israel. The fact of the matter is that we did not go there for politics. We went there on a fact-finding mission. What is interesting is that a lot of Muslim countries are beginning to, in fact, have already started trade relations with Israel. The BRICS, all the BRICS countries are in trade relations with Israel. They've got diplomatic ties with Israel. So we cannot sit back and say we cannot learn from these people because there are these issues. The issue of Israel and Palestine has been going on for a very long time. Nelson Mandela tried to intervene. Bill Clinton tried to intervene. The different presidents of Israel and the Palestinian Authority have tried to find each other. But the world cannot just stand. Us going to Israel does not make us enemies of the Palestinian people. In fact, in the city of Johannesburg, as we speak, we voted for a Muslim party, Al-Jamaa, twice, not once. The mayor that is there is the mayor who comes from a Muslim party. We are a party that is growing. We have no enemies. We are not going to judge anyone. We don't want to concern ourselves too much with foreign issues whilst our country is at war. We want to learn so that we can stabilize our country. And once we have done that, we can then say to the world, this is how we have resolved our own internal issues. This is the advice that we can give you. We also believe that the conflict of Israel and Palestine will be resolved by the Israeli and Palestinian people, or leaders. Whoever comes from outside might not be able to reach them. You've got the right wings in Israel, you've got the extremists in Palestine. It's a very difficult situation that is there, but we don't want to concern ourselves with politics. However, we are saying that Israel has welcomed us with open hands. They have treated us as friends. If tomorrow the Palestinian Authority wants to have a roundtable with us, we'll have a roundtable with them. Making friends with others does not make you enemies of others. However, if you look at how the BDS coalition attacked us, became personal with us, they defined us as their enemies instead of engaging us. Our trip to Israel was not a secret. like most people in the ANC, people in the DA who would go to Israel. We made a press statement that we will be going to Israel. These are the reasons why we are going to Israel. And we are going to meet the president of Israel amongst other people on our itinerary. So we made a press statement 7 days before we left South Africa for Israel. So it was not a secret. It was not a trip that has got some secret, no. We made it very clear to South Africans, very, very clear. But what I must also mention is the inconsistencies, especially in the Muslim communities in South Africa. During the day, they all talk about Israel as an apartheid state. Yet, when you look at where the DA governs, where there are Muslim people, it is the Muslim people who are voting for the DA in South Africa. The wards where the majority of people are Muslims, they vote for the DA. It is the DA that are running those wards. A DA that has openly said that they support Israel, they support the state of Israel. So how do you then come and tell us that we should not go to Israel, yet you are voting for a party that is funded by the Jews, a party that is clear that they are for the state of Israel? How do you do that? So it is very much hypocritical of our own brothers and sisters to want to criticize us and condemn us, when here they are strengthening a party that if it takes over, it might just be run by a Jew. You cannot divorce Jewish people from Israel. You can't say, I'm against the Israeli state, and then say, but I don't have a problem with the Jews in South Africa. No. Israel, the very existence of Israel is the Jewish people. So you can't divorce them from Israel.
But Kenny, to an extent, obviously, I will agree with you in terms of the DA and the support for the DA, because there are many Palestinian activists, there are many organizations right across the country that are obviously concerned about the DA and its association with Palestine, with Israel. And so, to a large extent, obviously, that criticism, there is merit in your criticism there. But again, coming to the issue, you made mention of Arab countries. You're talking of Muslim countries. Now, two wrongs don't make a right. There is a high level of criticism right across the entire Muslim world with regard to the relationship between the Arab countries and Israel. And the key issue here is coming from a country like South Africa, a country where we claim to be a democracy. Now, when one looks at Israel, Amnesty International has made it very, very clear that Israel is an apartheid state. It maintains a cruel system of control over the people of Palestinians. And again, when you look at Israel politics, to learn from them about coalitions, this is not a country that is about democracy. This is a country that is ideologically based, to the extent that even within Israel, what they are saying is, we are fully right-wing, we are truly right-wing. And it is definitely an ideology that is based on meting out the worst atrocities against the people of Palestine.
Would you agree with me if I said that had it not been for the extremists, perhaps Israel and Palestinian and
Sorry,
Palestine.
can you define extremists? What do you when you're talking of Palestinian extremists? How do you define extremists?
You have an organization called the Hamas, which is called an extremist party, which means they are left. In as much as Israel has got right wings. So these two groupings are not really looking for a solution from the engagements that I had with the Palestinian people and the Israeli people. There is a problem where you find the extremists say, no, Israel must be wiped off. The area. The Jews must be wiped off. Israel must be wiped off. There are those right-wingers who are saying, no. The Palestinians must go up north. They must leave us alone. You see, the issue of Israel reminds me of my own country, South Africa. The white people came here. and through the Western Cape, and they colonized us. They took our land. For many years, they treated us worse. Worse. We could not even sit in the same toilets with them. We could not ride the same buses with them. We were not represented in parliament. It was the worst form of apartheid that we endured. When I was 14 years, I was arrested. The first time I was arrested, I was 14 years. I was taken to prison when I was 15 years. So I'm saying to you, but we ended up finding each other. Although the left organizations like the Pan-Africanist Congress, the Azanian People's Organization were saying, no, these people must go back to the sea. No, these people must leave us. We ended up finding each other to say, let us coexist. Let us coexist in a democracy that does not even benefit the majority of our people today. So I'm saying, Nelson Mandela went to Israel. Nelson Mandela met his comrade in arms, the leader of the PLO, Yasser Arafat, and there was an engagement on how do you coexist? How do you find each other? But it seems that they can't find each other. It seems that, so the extremists are those who want a solution that is near impossible. The same way the leftists in this country wanted a solution that was near impossible. We could not drive white people out of our country. Some of them were even saying Indian people must be driven out of our country. So you cannot find a solution like that where you have now established infrastructure. You must find a solution that says, how do we coexist? My understanding is that Israel withdrew the Jews in the Gaza. The Palestinian Authority, which is basically a recognized leadership, was then overthrown by Hamas in Gaza so that Hamas can run Gaza. The very existence of Hamas depends on the non-existence of a peace. This conflict basically makes Hamas to leave. If there is a solution, like there was a peace deal between Israel and Lebanon, and the extremists there felt that they cannot exist without that. And when we were there, we had statements and media statements that they have now crossed the border of Lebanon into Israel. So you cannot find a solution where you are saying, walk away, I want to wipe you off the face of earth. That's not the solution that you
But Kenny,
can find.
have the Palestinians, my question to you is, have the Palestinians not been wiped off? We are talking about over 70 years of occupation. When you look at the theft of Palestinian land, when we look at settler colonization, when we look at the apartheid policies that are specifically targeted against the people of Palestine, you speak of Hamas, you speak of Gaza. Gaza is the biggest open-air prison in the world right now, cut off from the entire world. I mean, you're even battling to get food, you're battling to get electricity. All of this at the end of the day, I mean, what do people do? What do people of Palestine do? South Africa, I mean, when we ended apartheid, yes, we had Umkhonto we Sizwe, we had people that took up arms against a state that practiced and that enforced apartheid in the most brutal form. And there are many that hold the view that the Israeli form of apartheid is even 100 times worse than what we were subjected to in this country.
I think, look, I'm not here to speak for Israel. I'm here to make examples and to say, how do you find a solution? And I'm happy that you are raising the issue of Umkhonto we Sizwe. At the end of the day, we found each other with our colonial settlers who traveled far away to come and colonize us. We found each other with them. We put the arms down against the wishes of some of the leaders that were leading us, your Chris Hannis of this world, who were against this peaceful negotiation. Rightly so, because those who initiated this peaceful negotiation had a plan and they were not ready. They did not have a plan. But I'm saying we found each other to coexist. You are with me here in South Africa, where our colonial settlers, who have killed us, who have murdered us, who have hanged our leaders, we are now with them. We are coexisting. I'm saying where we are sitting with our experiences, the solution to this issue must be around the table where the Israeli and the Palestinians must find each other. They must find each other. It is the same. Doesn't matter how you look at it. The same way you believe that the Palestinians were colonized, we were colonized. The same way the Palestinians were being killed, we were killed. And that is why we went to exile. That is why Umkhonto weSizwe was formed, APLA was formed, and we came back and we also fought fire by fire. The same way the Palestinians are also fighting fire with fire. But what we are saying is, we are not part of politics. We did not go there for politics. We went there to learn, but we are not naive to the circumstances around there. But the very fundamental issue that everybody must understand, going to Israel and saying Israel has treated us as a friend, therefore we have a friend now in the world, does not make us enemies of Palestine, does not make us to be unsympathetic to the struggle of the Palestinian people. Tomorrow, when the Palestinian Authority or any other Arab state wants to sit around the table with us, we will do so. I am here now doing an interview with you because there is nothing sinister in as far as we are concerned of having done anything wrong. In our country, the BDS coalition, which is an organization that says they are fighting for the Palestinian people's plight, yet they are here in South Africa, they are not in Palestine. We're labeling us ex-convicts. They were playing the man instead of playing the ball. They were talking about my sushi days, that the sushi people are now friends of Israel. They were ridiculing us. The reality is, we will take over this government. We will be part of this government. We will be sitting around the table deciding who becomes the president of this government. So with that attitude, you are saying to us, you don't see us as humans, as people that can add value to you, that can add value to the politics of that area. You are seeing us as ex-cons. You use our history to insult us. So they now define themselves as our enemies. So, but tomorrow, if any organization or any party that comes from the Arab states invite us, or if we see that we can learn something, already we see a lot of things that we can learn from the UAE. I have a book that I'm reading. I have been very close to the former ambassador of the UAE to South Africa, who has invited me many times to his events and to the embassy. And we learn a lot. But it does not mean that we must now be instructed that we can't go there, we can't go there. Israel can instruct us not to go and meet Saudi Arabia, as an example. Israel did not even instruct us not to vote for a mayor who comes from a Muslim party. Nobody instructs Patriotic Alliance. We are saying that we want to make friends in the world, and everybody, as we speak now, is our friend. They will define themselves as we go forward.
Well, Kenny, we're going to have to leave it at that. I would have loved to engage a lot more with you, but unfortunately, time is of the essence. But we thank you. We do appreciate you taking time out and being with us right here on Salam Media this morning. All the best to you, sir.
I thank you very much, and I want to salute all the Muslim members of Patriotic Alliance. I hope this clarity also assists them in their confusion. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Kenny Kunene, Patriotic Alliance Deputy President, with us this morning against the party's recent trip to Israel to learn about coalition governments. The time is just gone, 8:30. We're going to go for a break. We come back. We will be focusing on the up-and-coming BRICS Summit.